Everyone knows space is where good money is to be made. The frontier of the future where all of Earth will trade. But you gotta get your money in to make sure you get paid. So I got me a real good deal on an asteroid. And they said, step right up here, don't be shy. Come get yourself a piece of the pie. Bring your cash and let's make a deal. We'll sell you estates that are quite unreal. Well, it ain't got running water. In fact, the atmosphere is froze. And it's kind of off the beaten path where no spaceship ever goes. But the salesman said it's real estate like this that's bound to grow. And I got me a real good deal on an asteroid. And they said, step right up here, don't be shy. Come get yourself a piece of the pie. Bring your cash and let's make a deal. We'll sell you estates that are quite unreal. They said they'd guarantee I'll have a lot of silicone. And they swear that's the mineral that everyone should own. But just think about the market in computer chips alone. And they gave me a real good deal on an asteroid. And they said, step right up here, don't be shy. Come get yourself a piece of the pie. Bring your cash and let's make a deal. We'll sell you estates that are quite unreal. Well, I had to decide real quick because they couldn't hold the deal. They said P.T. Barnum says there's lots of folks to whom this would appeal. So if I didn't buy right then, I'd miss out on a steal. So I got me a real good deal on an asteroid. And they said, step right up here, don't be shy. Come get yourself a piece of the pie. Bring your cash and let's make a deal. We'll sell you estates that are quite unreal.
Space is long and dark and empty, quite a ways between friend and friend, and you never know nobody when your journey's at an end. So the place you're gonna find me between the times I have to roam's in the bar around the corner where they make you feel at home. Belly up to the bar, friend, have another round. It's long, cold, and lonely between the times we hit the ground. One day I'm gonna settle down, never more to roam. But for now the bar's the spacer's home, so far away from home. Spaceport bars is commonplaces, here you'll find the common men. Some as rough as 3-day whiskers, some as quiet as hidden sin. Some as deadly as an adder, some as dumber than a stone. And when they're not chasing stardust, they make spaceport bars their home. Belly up to the bar, friend, have another round. It's long, cold, and lonely between the times we hit the ground. One day I'm gonna settle down, never more to roam. But for now the bar's the spacer's home, so far away from home. Out on Mars the winking lizard lies just left beyond the gate. Lady Stella does the pouring and you never have to wait for the rum that burns your gizzard and incinerates your brain. And you'll hear the tales of Mars before the sooty slickers came. Belly up to the bar, friend, have another round. It's long, cold, and lonely between the times we hit the ground. One day I'm gonna settle down, never more to roam. But for now the bar's the spacer's home, so far away from home. You know Palace 3 ain't nothing, but the jammer's worth the trip. Though you better not cross Charlie or you'll get a busted lip. But the folks there like they're singing and they're joking and they're brew, and you'll think you've gone to glory for the evening's halfway through. Belly up to the bar, friend, have another round. It's long, cold, and lonely between the times we hit the ground. One day I'm gonna settle down, never more to roam. But for now the bar's the spacer's home, so far away from home. You've a friend at Binky's waiting when you drop on Heaven's Rim, where they free pour Irish whiskey and they let you tell 'em when. That's where Angel watches over you, and when you've had enough, there's a space back in the corner where he'll let you sleep it off. Belly up to the bar, friend, have another round. It's long, cold, and lonely between the times we hit the ground. One day I'm gonna settle down, never more to roam. But for now the bar's the spacer's home, so far away from home. There's a Lone Star on New Texas where the chili's piping hot, and the Unicorn on Eros where the brandy hits the spot. And there's ducks on Altair 7, and there's Donnas on New Rome, and there's not one man among us who's ashamed to call them home. Belly up to the bar, friend, have another round. It's long, cold, and lonely between the times we hit the ground. One day I'm gonna settle down, never more to roam. But for now the bar's the spacer's home, so far away from home. Belly up to the bar, friend, have another round. It's long, cold, and lonely between the times we hit the ground. One day I'm gonna settle down, never more to roam. But for now the bar's the spacer's home, so far away from home. But for now the bar's the spacer's home, so far away from home.
Lunar twilight, dying day, shadows linger on as sunlight slowly fades. Darkness deepens as night is drawn, and it's so very long until another dawn. A lunar miner stirs in his converted canister, rubs his eyes and glances at the time. Another day, another shift, tons of rock to dig and lift, moving dozers through the shallow lunar mines. 4 a.m. or noon makes no difference on the moon. Clocks are just for keep and schedules define. The rugged miners claim a man can go insane. 7 days of sunshine and 7 more to go. And midnight madness mars the beauty of the stars. Darkness is forever, Luna turns so very slow. Then 100 pairs of eyes are drawn to the sky, scanning the horizon, anticipating Earthrise. 18 months a tour, lunar miners must endure many hardships, and the work is never done. 100 men no more mine 1,000,000 tons of ore every year to tame the power of the sun. But somehow they survive, their spirit kept alive, with hope for the future and a dream of Island One. Lunar sunrise, darkness wanes, cold and grey, dawn crawls across the plain. Blinding glare glistens on the crater rim, and it's so very long until the sun goes down again. And it's so very long until the sun goes down again. And it's so very long until the sun goes down.
She's captain of the Norway, a thorn in Union's side, protector of Pell Station and a source of grudging pride. Left the Maziani with their price upon her head, and stayed to guard the stations that the company left for dead. Captain Signy Mallory has no soul, they say. The captain of the Norway has a heart of frozen clay, that on the bridge of the Norway she throws men's lives like dice. Captain Signy Mallory, her eyes are fire and ice. They say she doesn't think about the lives that she has lost. They say when Norway goes to fight, she doesn't count the cost. That once she's planned a course, she never reckons wrong or right. So why does she stare sleeplessly into the dark all night? Captain Signy Mallory has no soul, they say. The captain of the Norway has of frozen clay, that on the bridge of the Norway she throws men's lives like dice. Captain Signy Mallory, her eyes are fire and ice. They say for Norway's captain disciplines an iron whip. It's worth your life to break her rules in dock or on the ship, that no one sane serves under her command. But if that's so, then why do her troops cheer her when she passes them below? Captain Signy Mallory has no soul, they say. The captain of the Norway has a heart of frozen clay, that on the bridge of the Norway she throws men's lives like dice. Captain Signy Mallory, her eyes are fire and ice. They say the captain has no crude emotions to control, just iron fist and iron will and iron-banded soul. They say she shows no mercy, and they say she never can. So why is Norway refuge for a burned-out Union man? Captain Signy Mallory has no soul, they say. The captain of the Norway has a heart of frozen clay, that on the bridge of the Norway she throws men's lives like dice. Captain Signy Mallory, her eyes are fire and ice. She's captain of the Norway, a thorn in Union side. The Maziani fear her, she's the heart of Norway's pride. And stationer or merchant from far gone back to Pell, go for Mallory, all Norway would fight demons out of hell.
We are the bold and rakish crew of the good ship Manatee. They say that we're the strangest bunch to sail the starry sea. Oh, rev your engines, match our warp, and catch us if you can. We'll drink a brew and journeys through round old Aldebaran. All hail the Manatee, heads up, she's passing by. They say she is the oddest ship that ever tried to fly. Our captain built a model of the palace at Versailles, across the recreation room, and no one could get by. One night she heard what sounded like a mighty cannon's roar. Versailles had blown to kingdom come, as had the rec room floor. All hail the Manatee, heads up, she's passing by. It's true she is the strangest ship that ever tried to fly. The astrogator has a way with plants of every type. She nurtures alien vegetables and cooks them when they're ripe. She had a vegan orchid once that ate the captain's cat, then terrorized the ship's exec until she squashed it flat. All hail the Manatee, heads up, she's passing by. 'Tis true she is the oddest ship that ever tried to fly. Our engineer's a singer, but don't tell the captain that. He writes his verses in the hold and wears a cowboy hat. And sometimes on the first watch one can hear a mournful voice sing lonesome country tunes. I wish he'd offer us a choice. All hail the Manatee, heads up, she's passing by. It is true she is the oddest ship that ever tried to fly. Our doctor is a curious soul, an operating man. He takes out spleens to Beethoven and Cacciatorian. One day he grabbed a crewman who had called the doc a quack. We couldn't look at what he took. Oh, doc, please put it back. All hail the Manatee, heads up, she's passing by. 'Tis true she is the oddest ship that ever tried to fly. Yeah, all hail the Manatee, heads up, she's passing by. 'Tis true she is the oddest ship that ever tried to fly.
Jamie Dawson was the captain of the Christian and her crew, and he flew and fought the Christian in the War of '82. Now the Christian was the tightest ship between here and Charlemagne, and the crew of Jamie Dawson was the same. On patrol in Sector 7, keeping watch on Barbara's son, they were jumped by 3 light cruisers, though they weren't a match for 1. As they came to general quarters and they sent out the alarm, Dawson's crew was sure they'd finally bought the farm. No one living saw that battle, though the fleet was quick to leave. When they reached the site, they found a scene no sane man could believe. Dead in space lay 3 light cruisers, cut to ribbons all around, but no sign of Dawson's Christian could be found. There are stories of the Dutchman, the Celeste and Barnum's bride. There are stories of the horseman and the lady at his side. But the tale that chills my spirit, more because I know it's true, is the tale of Jamie Dawson and his crew. Yes, the tale of Dawson's Christian and her crew. I was second mate on Harris Dream, a freighter on the line. We were shipping precious metals to the colony on 9. It was on the second watch of that most uneventful flight when the pirate ships appeared out of the night. Now to me there was no question, for they had us 4-1, and you can't fight dirty pirates when your freighter has no gun. So we stood by to be boarded by a party yet unseen, when another ship appeared upon our screen. First we thought it just a pirate, but the vector was all wrong. Then we thought it might be rescue, but her signal wasn't strong. When she didn't answer hailing, we all felt an unknown dread, for we saw her shields were up and glowing red. Now the courage of that single ship is shown by very few, but we never knew a ship could fly the way the stranger flew. Never fearing guns or numbers, like a tiger to its meat, the stranger then attacked the pirate fleets. And the stranger's beams burned brighter than all beams I've seen before, and the stranger's shields were harder than the heart of any whore. As the battle rent the ether while we watched and shook our heads, the pirate ships were cut to bloody shreds. The pirate ships were cut to bloody shreds. Just as quickly as it started, then the fighting was all done, for the pirate fleet was shattered and the stranger ship had won. Though we tried to call and thank her, not an answer could we draw. Then she dropped her shields and this is what we saw. There were 30 holes clear through her and a gash along one side, and we knew that when it happened that no crew were left alive. For the markings all said Christian, deep inside us each one knew 'twas the tomb of Jamie Dawson and his crew. Now instead of flying off, the stranger then began to fade, first the hull and then the bulkheads as we watched her all afraid. For as the Christian disappeared, the last to slip from view were the bones of Jamie Dawson and his crew. Yes, the bones of Jamie Dawson and his crew. There are stories of the Dutchman, the Celeste and Barnum's bride. There are stories of the horseman and the lady at his side. But the tale that chills my spirit, more because I know it's true, is the tale of Jamie Dawson and his crew. Yes, the tale of Dawson's Christian and her crew.
I am the dance on the edge of what never has been. I am remembered tomorrows that never were seen.
stops and the future begins to wonder. Starship in high gear, flashing lights and shrieking skies, rockets zip and whiz. Ain't no was no more, ain't no will be, not just yet. All there is
I am the zero-G toilet backed up to the ceiling. I am the face of a zero-G hungover feeling. I'm short of sleep because my body won't stay in one place. Air vents that clink and computers that rattle, water and food that smell awfully like cattle. Whatever happened to Klingons and battles in space? Starship in high gear, clanking pipes and bleary eyes. Is that supposed to fizz? Ain't no was no more, ain't no will be, not just yet. All there is I met her in a barroom on a world called Callan-Sea. More drunk she was than anyone would ever want to be. I tickled her and patted her and lifted up her skirt. She jumped upon my lap and then she threw up on my shirt. And I said, this looks like the start of a beautiful friendship. And I'll drink a toast now to Lola, the engineer. On board the Sultan's pleasure, with a load of ore to haul, well, a freighter all but runs itself between the ports of call. And outside a drink and making love, there isn't much to do. So that's what we did each chance we could, and a few we couldn't too. And those were very few. And I'll drink a toast now to Lola, the engineer. One day in an unused engine, just to pass the while, drinking gin and making love in a complicated style. Our bodies shook together from our kneecaps to our necks. It's love, I cried, like hell, she said, it's pirates, hit the deck. She listened at the intercom, then turned to me and said, inside an hour they'll find us, in an hour we'll be dead, and there's no way to outrun 'em. Then a look came to her eye. By God, it may not work, she said, but we'll know the reason why. So I'll drink a toast now to Lola, the engineer. It seems the pirates made their move while we were making love, and a pulsar blast had fried the brains of every hand above. But we were recreating down in engine number 2, where 20 feet of shielding kept the hell from coming through. So we jerry-rigged the panel board to start the engine cold. With a power surge and a blast we knew the shielding couldn't hold. Then Lola took a can of paint and signed her work in red. I'll see you bloody bastards down in hell was what it said. And I'll drink a toast now to Lola, the engineer. Then we sprinted for a shuttlecraft and ran to save our skins, and Lola passed the bottle for one final slug of gin. There's a million ways to live, she said, but there's just one way to die. Then the surge came through and the pleasure blew and the pirates lit the sky. And when the Sultan's pleasure went, the sky was filled with light, and time stood still, an endless moment in the endless night. And then the shock wave hit us, picked us up and threw us clear. There's fortune for a greenhorn and a spaceborne engineer. And I'll drink a toast now to Lola, the engineer. It ended back on Callan's, where we drained the taverns dry. We drank and smashed our glasses, and we never said goodbye. And the last time I saw Lola, she was looking for a beer. She's a drunkard and a cynic and a first-class engineer. And I'll drink a toast now to Lola, the engineer.
I'm a mass driver engineer, on course through the vacuum motion of space. A freighter captain in the high frontier, running 3 months out of series, 3 months out of series. My ship is a Holland lady and slow, acceleration takes time. A little thrust and we're underway, heading out from the asteroid mines. The engine's 10 kilometers long, a spear of coils and solar arrays. Our reaction mass is rock and slag, out here we don't throw nothing away. I'm a mass driver engineer, on course through the vacuum motion of space. A freighter captain in the high frontier, running 3 months out of series, 3 months out of series. Casting off from Port O'Neill, bound for an L5 colony, with a load of chemicals to supply their industrial economy. Hydrogen, carbon and nitrogen, the asteroids process plenty. We're the only close source beyond old Earth, 'cause the moon it hasn't any. I'm a mass driver engineer, on course through the vacuum motion of space. A freighter captain in the high frontier, running 3 months out of series, 3 months out of series. Velocity changes completed and true, we're approaching cargo target. Then the payload's dropped and on its own, falling into L5 orbit. Do a job well done and we're going home. Come about, turn your tail to the sun. I got 3 months leave before I'm gone on another L5 colony run. I'm a mass driver engineer, on course through the vacuum motion of space. A freighter captain in the high frontier, running 3 months out of series, 3 months out of series. A freighter captain in the high frontier, running 3 months out of series.
When I was just a young man and I hadn't made my fame, I spent the night with a tinker's lass who left when the morning came. It's many years she's left me, and since she's gone away, but I'm mad for the tinker's daughter, and I love her to this day. For there's many dark and lovely, and there's many fine and fair, but I'm mad for the tinker's daughter, and there's none that can compare. Now a tinker is a rambler, and he wanders near and far, and the true-born daughter of a tinker's bound to go from star to star, and to find her I've crossed hell itself in the heavens up above, and I've seen 1,000 wonders, but I haven't found my love. For there's many dark and lovely, and there's many fine and fair, but I'm mad for the tinker's daughter, and there's none that can compare. I've seen the golden cities and the golden women there, and I've seen the green-eyed women of the wind with silver in their hair, seen the dark and noble ladies and a queen upon her throne, but I searched the worlds for the tinker's girl to take her for my own. And there's many dark and lovely, and there's many fine and fair, but I'm mad for the tinker's daughter, and there's none that can compare. Now love will make you crazy, and love will make you blind, and love will make you search until you don't know what you'll find, and love will set you spinning so you'll never find your way. But I'm mad for the tinker's daughter, and I love her to this day. And there's many dark and lovely, and there's many fine and fair, but I'm mad for the tinker's daughter, and there's none that can compare. Yes, there's many dark and lovely, and there's many fine and fair, but I'm mad for the tinker's daughter, and there's none that can compare.
Now in our scientific search for knowledge all out in deepest space, we found a lot of hydrogen and carbon and nitrogen and stranger stuff's a trace. That's about 1 atom per cubic centimeter. What you call hard vacuum. That gas out there, it seethes and grows, new stars it births and shrouds. The astronomer folks, they give it a name, call it giant molecular clouds. Hydrogen mostly, carbon monoxide, H2O. Ice, it's cold out there. But a guy by the name of Ben M. Zuckerman discovered something more. A complex mass of exotic molecules in our own galactic core. CH3, CH2, OH. For you teetotalers and non-chemists, that's ethyl alcohol. Pure vodka. Now the booze alone in this cloud would fill 10,000 Earths or more. Oh joy, the interstellar traveler who tours our galactic core. Just think of it, a giant-sized screwdriver and a galactic hangover. The prize awaits us, intrepid friends, oh that our cup so small. Launch outward and upward and coreward, ho, for the party to end 'em all. Universal happy hour. And think of all that ice. Launch outward and upward and coreward, ho, for the party to end 'em all.
Annie sits by herself in a bar with no friends. She thinks of her past and dreams now and then. Once she had beauty, you can see in her eyes, but life has grown bitter, love holds no surprise. Space Station Annie, head of the circuit, the toast to them all. chasing the stars around. Planet-bound lovers have faded and gone, but the lure of the rover kept calling her on. One more performance, the show was her life, and when you forgot her, it cut like a knife. Space Station Annie, hit of the circuit, the toast of them all. Space Station Annie, chasing the stars around. One bar's like another, and she's seen 'em all. She still keeps on singing right over the brawl. When she takes a bow, though you never pause, in the back of her mind she still hears the applause. Space Station Annie, hit of the circuit, the toast of them all. Space Station Annie, chasing the stars around, 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 around.
Oh, what's the use of this looting and pillaging, swinging my ray gun through blood, guts, and gore? Raping and robbing and boozing grow boring. The life of a pirate's no fun anymore. No fun anymore, no fun anymore. It's only a job, it's no fun anymore. Always the same, all the planning and ambushing, pouncing, attacking and hauling away. The whoring and boozing and passing out afterwards. It's getting monotonous day after day. Day after day, day after day. It's boring as hell fighting day after day. I've bounced in more beds than there's hairs on my you-know-what. I've bred enough bastards to crew my own ship. I've never had time to stay home and raise one of them. So what will I have when I've emptied my clip? Emptied my clip, emptied my clip. Who'll call me dad when I've emptied my clip? I've got an itch to go do something different and get a good farm and a nice buxom bride, raise some tall crops and a lot of fat babies. Complacency's one sin that I've never tried. I've never tried, I've never tried playing good citizen, I've never tried.
Oh, I've sailed the midnight sea from Earth to Alpha Phi. Seen flame gems on Aldebaran, met rocks that were alive. But soon I came to realize as world to world I roamed, galaxy could really be my home. So call the navigators, set the course and go. We've stars and planets to explore, my wild heart tells me so. Beneath the metal decking I can hear the engine sigh, and all I need is a mighty ship and a star to guide her by. The nights are long between the stars and lonely too for me. I wonder how I might have fared with home and family. But the bonds of friendship I have formed will last my lifetime through. Security is not for me, my dreams are all of you. So call the navigator, set the course and go. We've stars and planets to explore, my wild heart tells me so. Beneath the metal decking I can hear the engine sigh, and all I need is a mighty ship and a star to guide her by. I've seen a million beauties and I've known a million fears. Life is what I found between the laughter and the tears. Still I will sail the last frontier through worlds both tame and wild, and marvel at their strangeness with the wonder of a child. So call the navigator, set the course and go. We've stars and planets to explore, my wild heart tells me so. Beneath the metal decking I can hear the engine sigh, and all I need is a mighty ship and a star to guide her by. And all I need is a mighty ship and a star to guide her by. Yeah, all I need is a mighty ship and a star to guide her by.
We were 38 crewmen on Transport 18. The hour was late and the talk was obscene, when the raiders streaked down and their bright lasers cut some 20-odd holes through her steel-plated gut. So pity us poor sailors wherever we roam, for there's no guarantee that we'll ever come home. All the engines were dead and the life system shot, and the ship leaking air like the steam off a pot. When the crew was accounted and all damage told, the last airtight chamber was the 5th cargo hold. So pity us poor sailors wherever we roam, for there's no guarantee that we'll ever come home. So we yelled SOS with our beacons and flares, and we ran for the hold by the last standing stairs. We sealed off the ports and we gave a great cheer when we found that the cargo was 12 tons of beer. So pity us poor sailors wherever we roam, for there's no guarantee that we'll ever come home. We were fairly well mellowed when our answer came through by a transporter sparkle and a brief flash of blue. 'Twas a space-suited Navy man, calm and correct, though his green pointed ears weren't quite what you'd expect. So pity us poor sailors wherever we roam, for there's no guarantee that we'll ever come home. He raised one long eyebrow as he noted our fun, and he calmly announced that our troubles weren't done. for his ship was off fighting the raiders alone. So we'd have to reach safety somehow on our own. So pity us poor sailors wherever we roam, for there's no guarantee that we'll ever come home. Then he said, there's a space station not far at all. We could reach in 2 days at a jet-powered crawl. Now jets are quite simple, we could build one from here. Just a valve line to the surface from one tank of beer. So pity us poor sailors wherever we roam, for there's no guarantee that we'll ever come home. So we cheered our salvation and we mourned for the brew as we sealed on the pipes as he showed us to do. Then we opened the fuel line with a ship aimed toward home, and we rode to the station on a long wake of foam. So pity us poor sailors wherever we roam, for there's no guarantee that we'll ever come home. So at last, when the ship came to take us in tow, just an hour from the station with 3 tanks to go, we drank up the fuel and we're feeling no pain, when the Navy man left us with a look of disdain. So pity us poor sailors wherever we roam, for there's no guarantee that we'll ever come home. So cheer for us sailors riding in on the foam. We were drunker than lords by the time we got home. When we pulled into Argo port in need of R&R, the crew set out investigating every joint and bar. We had high expectations of their hospitality, but found too late it wasn't geared for spacers such as we. And we're banned from Argo, everyone, banned from Argo just for having a little fun. We spent a jolly shore leave there for just 3 days or 4, but Argo doesn't want us anymore. The captain's tastes were simple, but his methods were complex. We found him with 5 partners, each of a different world and sex. The shore police were on the way, we had no second chance. We beamed him up in the nick of time and the remnants of his pants. And we're banned from Argo, everyone, banned from Argo just for having a little fun. We spent a jolly shore leave there for just 3 days or 4, but Argo doesn't want us anymore. Our engineer would yield to none at putting down the brew. He outdrank 7 space marines and a demolition crew. The Navigator didn't win, but he outdrank almost all. And now they've got a shuttlecraft on the roof of City Hall. And we're banned from Argo, everyone, banned from Argo just for having a little fun. We spent a jolly shore leave there for just 3 days or 4, but Argo doesn't want us anymore. Our proper cool first officer was drugged with something green and hauled into an alley where he suffered things obscene. He sobered up in sick bay and he's none the worse for wear, except he somehow taught the bridge computer how to swear. And we're banned from Argo, everyone, banned from Argo just for having a little fun. We spent a jolly shore leave there for just 3 days or 4, but Argo doesn't want us anymore. The head nurse disappeared a while in the major dope bazaar, buying an odd green potion guaranteed to cause ponfar. She came home with no uniform and an oddly cheerful heart, and a painful way of walking with her feet a yard apart. And we're banned from Argo, everyone, banned from Argo just for having a little fun. We spent a jolly shore leave there for just 3 days or 4, but Argo doesn't want us anymore. Our Lady of Communications won a ship-wide bet by getting into the planet's main communications net. Now every time someone calls up on an Argo telescreen, the flesh is there but the clothes they wear are nowhere to be seen. And we're banned from Argo, everyone, banned from Argo just for having a little fun. We spent a jolly shore leave there for just 3 days or 4, but Argo doesn't want us anymore. Our doctor loves humanity, his private life is quiet. The shore police arrested him for inciting hordes to riot. We found him in the city jail, locked on and beamed him free. Intact except for hickeys and 6 kinds of BD. And we're banned from Argo, everyone. Banned from Argo just for having a little fun. We spent a jolly shore leave there for just 3 days or 4. But Argo doesn't want us anymore. Our helmsman loves exotic plants, and the plants all love him too. He took some down on leave with him, and we wondered what they'd do, till a planetary governor called and swore upon his life that a gang of plants entwined his house and then seduced his wife. And we're banned from Argo, everyone. Banned from Argo just for having a little fun. We spent a jolly shore leave there for just 3 days or 4, but Argo doesn't want us anymore. A gang of Klingons landed and nobody seemed to care. They stomped into the nearest bar to announce that they were there. Half our crew was busy inside and invited them to play, but the Klingons only looked at us and turned and ran away. And we're banned from Argo, everyone. Banned from Argo just for having a little fun. We spent a jolly shore leave there for just 3 days or 4, but Argo doesn't want us anymore. Our crew is Starfleet's finest, and our record is our pride. And when we play, we tend to leave a trail a mile wide. We're sorry about the wreckage and the riots and the fuss. At least we're sure that planet won't be quick forgetting us. And we're banned from Argo, everyone. Banned from Argo just for having a little fun. We spent a jolly shore leave there for just 3 days or 4, but Argo doesn't want us anymore. Wonder why?
Sleek and clean, the death machine stands ready on the decks. Inside, the men who fight in them run through their final checks. Absorbed in it, the pilots sit, their lives unmoved by hate. For those that fly make others die and never touch their fate. He just flies the bomber, he never sees their eyes when the hell comes down. He just flies the bomber. Inbound trip without a slip, the shuttle drops them free. They set the track for their attack, the backup comps agree. Now trim the jet and don't forget to plot in the return. It's time to go, for down below's the planet that must burn. He just flies the bomber, he never sees their eyes when the hell comes down. He just flies the bomber. Now make the run so quick it's done, and death screams toward the ground. But moving fast, they're so far past they never hear the sound. Final turn is from the stern, they watch the mushrooms grow that fill the night with deadly light and kill the world. He just flies the bomber, he never sees their eyes when the hell comes down. He just flies the bomber. Back aboard the shuttle, there'll be time enough to think of what they've done. They'll find their antiseptic, war won't leave them with a place that they can run. Nowhere to run. There's no deep, untroubled sleep for one with such a debt. And guilt alone will not atone, nor let a soul forget. Those cries and screams, they're not just dreams, imagination lies. God damn the whore, the bitch who bore you killers of the skies. He just flies the bomber, he never sees their eyes when the hell comes down. He just flies the bomber.
Now I met Sam Jones on a dockside night in a rundown Viking bar. A kid of maybe 15 years at that purely nowhere star. He had no ship, he had no skills, no name or family. And he looked at me like a thirsty soul at a boundless salty sea. For space is wide and good friends are too few. Captain, take me with you. Captain, I'll work for free. I was spacer born and stranded here. Dockside's not for me. Now that tale sure is an old one. Some stationer unwise had slept up with some spacer love and got herself this prize. For space is wide and good friends are too few. And the kid grows up all restless and dreams of faring free, of stars and worlds and foreign docks and things he'll never see. A spacer's more than born, I said, he's trained from infancy. And you've grown up station side, boy, you're no use to me. For space is wide and good friends are too few. Well, I saw him take that hope of his and turn his face away. Not give up, no, he'd never quit, just try further down the way. Hey kid, I said, you're stubborn if you work with half that will. Well, our engineer could use a hand, but we've got a berth to fill. For space is wide and good friends are too few. He stood there with that scowling look as if he hadn't heard. And then the tears ran down his face, but he didn't say a word. No, he never was much for talking after we took him on board. Yes, sir, yes, ma'am, no, sir, were all the words that he'd afford. For space is wide and good friends are too few. Now the engineer, Kate Meacham, well, her eyes were going bad. She knew I knew, and that kid I sent drove old Kate raving mad. Out she'd yell, and he'd lie low until old Kate got cool. Then back he'd go, and he'd do the scut, while Kate would call him a fool. For space is wide, and good friends are too few. In time, Kate's eyes got much worse, and every crewman knew. But Kate herself, well, her heart would stop on the day she left the crew. That close-mouthed kid would never talk, he just covered Kate's mistakes. Kate, he'd say, check the number 4, or Kate, that's 9.8. For space is wide and good friends are too few. Now we made our rounds of the ports we used from Halley's to Almar. And one jump all of our luck ran out at a little K-class star. We hit a rock, a vane went down, the ship went kiting through. No way to stop and no damn thing that a rescue ship could do. For space is wide and good friends are too few. The number 3 bar, Kate Meacham said, that's broken on that vane. I'll send a man up, I said then, first hope I'd entertained. No way, said Kate, it's outside work, we can't fix that from here. And to pull that thing with a high-V charge is a job for the engineer. For space is wide and good friends are too few. Now we rode in dust at 3/4 sea with our shields all down and null. Kate, I said, it's hell out there, dust is chewing up our hull. It'll chew a hard suit faster still, 10 minutes is all you'll last. Die an hour later, old Kate said, I'll just work a little fast. For space is wide and good friends are too few. Well, old Kate put that hard suit on, she went out in the driving hail of a high-V gas that scoured our hull with a shriek like a banshee wail. Her voice came back so thin and weak that we could hardly hear. I'm on it now, I'm at the vein, I've got the cover clear. For space is wide and good friends are too few. And silence then, a long, long while, all drowned in static hiss. Damn this thing, my faceplate's fogged, my sight's gone all to mist. Kate, I said, get back inside, someone else will go. But then I heard the aft lock work 2 levels down below. For space is wide and good friends are too few. Steady, Kate, said the kid's low voice, then while the minutes ran. Easy, Kate, my suit's brand new, keep low as ever you can. I'll find the pins, you tell me how, and I'll get this bastard free. Kate's voice then, we listened hard, caught about 1 word in 3. For space is wide and good friends are too few. 10 minutes gone, we heard Kate say, then we heard the kid's hard breath. I got her, shove the other in, hold on for life and death. Said the kid, my arm's going numb, oh that's it, now there Kate, she's in. Get inside fast, get out of here, he went to static then. For space is wide and good friends are too few. Boy, hang on, we heard Kate say, then we heard Kate Meacham swear. And quiet then, just the static hiss and the stillness in the air. 10 minutes more, power up, I said, for we heard no sound back there. It was my hand to shove the lever home, and the power surged and flared. For space is wide and good friends are too few. Our speed ebbed down and ebbed again as we turned for that Cape-class sun. But Kate and the kid went on together on the trip they'd both begun. Oh, half-blind Kate and young Sam Jones made a hell of an engineer. So turn down a glass for such as they, and thank God we're sitting here. For space is wide and good friends are too few. Yes, space is wide and good friends are too few.